Stop trying to sell to have a successful business. Focus on this and see how your business grow. Hi everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind Engineer community. Here, Tommy Walker, and I want to talk about this very important topic that a lot of people kind of miss when they're trying to build their business, launch their business, or even scale their business. And they lose themselves into trying to sell as much as they can because many times what they have is the brain is wired to think that the success is going to be how much sales they make. And when you're starting, unfortunately, people are not going to just pay you because you have something to offer. Because the truth is, they need to know you, they need to connect with you, they need to see that you understand what their needs are. So when many entrepreneurs are just trying to shove products or services down people's throats, what happens is they're pushing people away. And I was there for many years of my life. I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years now, and for 13 years, more or less, I struggle with one of the main businesses that I tried to start. I tried to start a business in 2003, and it wasn't until more or less 2011. So it was 9 years plus the other years that I struggled with other businesses, models, and things like that. I couldn't get it off the ground. And I was trying to make sales, make sales, make sales. My focus was on selling. And thank God there are people like Alex Hormozy, Dean, what's his name? Alex Hormozy and Gary Vee. There you go. I was confusing with another guy, Gary Vee, that they're more and more talking about this, that you can start doing to be able to start scaling your business, start growing and getting sales. So the first thing to understand is the more we focus on selling, the more desperate we are, the more we're going to push people away. Remember that 55% of communication is non-verbal. Non-verbal. That means that you're talking with your body, not with the words, not with your tone, but with your body. Yes, of course, the tone is important. Tone is like, I don't remember exactly the number, but it might be 20 to 30% the tone, and the rest is what you say. And our people out there are seeking for that perfect script, that amazing script, that perfect landing page where people are going to start buying. But they don't realize that a lot of people don't just land on a page, or you go through a sales script and people buy. It doesn't work like that, because when you are reciting a sales script, your body is speaking louder than your words, or even your body speaking louder than your tone. So to be able to get your business off the ground or even scale it from where it is to the next level, it is important to start working on understanding what's going on. First, in exploring your mind, what is the attachments that you have along money or sales? Because a lot of people out there don't realize that they have limiting negative and false beliefs around money. And yes, although you might think that you deserve money, that money is good, and all these things, if your actions are not aligned to that, there is some type of limiting negative and false beliefs that is holding you back. Remember that the mind, with the programs in there, with the scripts, is going to dictate your actions. So I work with a lot of people that tell me, but Tommy, I truly believe that I deserve money. I truly believe that, I have something good to offer, whether it's a service or product, it doesn't matter. Now I'm working for a company that they hired me to help their people, the people in their program, because they do multi-level marketing like Amway, SN, or different things, right? Just the brand of creams and things like that, right? That comes from Switzerland. So there's so many different product services out there, and a lot of people that are seeing others selling, they're not being able to sell. And they're not being able to sell because many times deep down they don't believe in themselves. That's the first thing. And the other one is they're trying to sell. And the sale is something that happens when you're able to connect with people, when you're able to build trust, authority, and that's when people maybe are going to decide to buy something from you. But if you're not working on those three things, connection, authority, and trust, it's going to make it very difficult for you to sell. So what I have learned along all these years as an entrepreneur and smashing my head against the wall, trying different tactics from the big ones out there, is that actually we're in a new place now where the market is very getting so sophisticated that they don't just buy from anyone. A lot of people are buying not so much what you do as the transformation itself, that they buy transformation, but why you do it too. When people start listening why you're doing what you're doing, when you start sharing your story, they start connecting more with you. They start feeling that trust, that authenticity, that authority from your side too. So instead of trying to sell, the shift that we need to start bringing is to try to serve others. Ask questions, see what they're looking for, see if what you have is really for them. In many cases, right? If you have something like, I'm working with these people that are selling product, there's a product that helps reduce the pain in the different parts of the body, whether it is, pain in the joints or muscle pain and things like that. There is this, thing that they're selling that reduces pain. And a lot of people in there are trying it and it's working for a lot of people. It doesn't just go away magically, don't get me wrong, but it starts reducing till I have talked to some people that say that the pain has gone away. So the product is really good. The thing is, if you want to shove that down someone's throat and say, hey, you got to buy this, this is going to take your pain away. If the person doesn't feel that you're asking questions, you're understanding what they're going through, they're not going to buy the product, even if it's a really good product, because they're not going to believe in that, because they're not you. They haven't gone through a transformation you've gone. So the idea is to be able to connect with them, make them feel that you understand them because you're going through something similar. You went through something similar. But when people don't feel that connection, when they don't feel that trust, and then it doesn't create the authority, they're not going to buy. So if you keep trying to shove your product or services down people's throats, no wonders you're not going to sell. No wonders you don't have a business. You have a hobby, but you don't have a business. A business nowadays is going to grow based on serving others. This is one of the things that I do. I do these free talks online for entrepreneurs, for non-entrepreneurs, in Spanish, in English, and I'm serving so many communities out there that my business is growing. As more people get to know me, as more people get to understand what I'm doing, why am I doing it, and how I can help people step forward and want to work with me. In the last week, I closed 3 people that started working with me in 1 week. And in the last 2, 3 weeks, I closed more people. And I have a couple more calls tomorrow. I have another call on Monday of somebody that wants to work with me. So something will start happening. The more you serve people, the more you focus on serving people, connecting with them, giving them what they want, showing them that you know what you're doing. The people that want help, that can afford it, and are looking for somebody to hold their hand through the process, those are the people that are going to buy from you. And you might say, okay, but tell me I sell a product. Okay. But the idea is to be able to sell a transformation with that product, not just sell the product, sell a transformation with that product and build connection, trust, authority. So people trust you enough to say, oh, I'm going to buy this product from this guy because it seems that it's legit. The other day I was reaching out to some people, right? Because I'm offering a seminar in a couple of weeks, right? And I was sharing information to a woman, and the woman was like, I don't want to go into that site because there's so many scammers. It's like she thought that by clicking in a link and opening a website, there could be any way of scamming her. And the truth, it's not. Because the truth is, you need to click on download, you need to fill in your information for somebody to try to scam you. But this woman was pulling back because maybe she went through a bad experience and she thought that I could scam her just by going to a link. So people are getting more and more, doubtful about whatever they do online. Not like this woman. This is kind of the, extreme. But a lot of people, why would they buy to you? What if it's a scam? What if you never get it? The other day, we were seeing an advertising from a company in China, Temu. TEMU that sells a lot of stuff here for Argentina. And they had an ad where a woman was like, oh, she was crying and she was saying, they lied to me, they're liars. They told me that they give all these gifts away and I found out that it's not true. So a guy supposedly from Temu says, why do you say that? What happened? Oh, a friend of mine told me that it's not true. And the guy says, oh, but it is true. Look, go to this link, go to do this here. So my wife went online to Temu, looked it up, and there were like 4 or 5 things that they were giving away. They were giving away a small netbook, yes, an Android netbook or iPad, like an iPad, but it was more Android pad, yes, and many other things. And they were giving it for free if you bought, of course, at least 100 or I think it was like $80 of products. So it might not work. But you know what? I've heard a lot of people buying from Temu and it works. So we gave it a try. And you know what? If it doesn't work, okay, I might lose $80, but I can still ask the credit card to give me back that money if it's a scam. I don't think so. We bought from other companies from China and they really worked. And I've heard people buying from Temu and finding it works. We'll see. Maybe the Android pad is really bad. It doesn't work. She bought a watch, an iPad, a notebook pad, or whatever you want to call it, and some other stuff. We'll see. Maybe they're crappy stuff, but at least is giving it a shot. But I told her to do it because I have heard a lot of people saying that Temu is legit. Maybe it was all advertising from Temu saying it was legit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out, and it takes like 30 days to get here, and we'll see. The first package we bought from another Shane, that is another company that is bringing stuff shipped from China to Argentina. We bought the first time, and we spent like $80, $100 to give it a try, and it worked, and it was legit. And then my wife bought more stuff because we needed stuff around the house. She bought more stuff, and then more stuff. She bought three times, and it worked. But we risk it. But if you're trying to sell something that is more than $80, maybe $100, $200, or even in the thousands, people are not going to just throw money because you're selling something that is good. Because would you buy to a person that you don't know? Would you invest $200, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in somebody that you don't know? Seriously, imagine somebody walking down the street and try to sell you an iPhone and they're like, yeah, I have this. It's legit. It's legit. It's legit. You're going to be like, I don't know. And even if it's half the price or 1/3 of the price, and I've seen this, there's some guys in Europe that are recording these guys that are selling headphones or, iPads or things like that on the streets, and they're all fake. So would you spend $500 on a phone that you're not sure if it's going to work or not, or if it's legit or not? And I'm pretty sure the answer is no. So the same way, people need to believe in you. People need to trust you. You need to show testimonials. You need to show, your own experience. You need to show stuff so that people can connect with you, build trust. You stand out as authority, and that's when people start buying. So if you keep trying to sell, unfortunately, it's going to make it very, very difficult to sell because people are not seeing the value you have to offer. Just by saying that you have value, people are not going to believe you because there's so many people out there that have done that in the past, that have lied, deceived, cheated on others, that now suddenly people are getting more and more defensive when they need to spend their money. And again, if it's 5, 10, 20, $50, maybe it's going to make it easier. But when you go over those numbers, people are very, very, tight in just giving money away to something that might work, but they're not even sure. No, they need to really connect with you, trust you. And how does it work? By serving them. So one thing is if you're selling products, showing testimonials, your own testimonials, showing that the company is legit, showing information about the company, and then connecting with them, asking them questions where they are, where they want to be, and then you fill in the blanks, you fill in the gap with the product or the services that you're offering. But you need to ask questions. You need to help them see that you really care, not trying to, fake it to make it. No, really care for those people. But that again, it brings you back to, if you keep trying to sell, you're not really caring for people. You're just trying to care about you, trying to sell. When it turns around and you care about people, suddenly people are like, hey, yeah, you know what? This guy sounds legit. I want to work with this guy. And I get lots of referrals, people that send me over. I just got a guy that I've been working for several months recommended me a friend of his. His friend started working today, and now his wife wants to work with me. So now his wife signed up. Then another guy that I'm working with recommended me, two, three, four people already. Like he recommended a person, that person recommended three more. So it kind of comes from one that is expanding. So recommendations are great. When people suddenly try your service, your products, and they start loving it, they're going to start recommending it to others. But you need to start getting connected, build trust and authority with the people out there so that they want to give you their money. If not, it's not going to work. You're not going to have a company. So I hope that makes sense. It's very important to connect with people, build a trust, the authority. And there's many different ways. I'm not going to go into very deep and how to build those things. This talk today is all about understanding that you need to stop trying to sell, try to serve others. Find ways that you can serve others. If you're offering services like me, whether it is consulting, coaching, start doing it for free. Seriously, start helping people for free. Get testimonials. Confirm what you're doing, validate what you're doing, get lots of great testimonials, then start putting that out there. Talk to people. And then when you're talking to people, serve them by saying, oh, you know what? I was working with Linda some time ago, and she was in a very similar position as you were. And she was stuck, she was this, she was that, she had pain in her joints. Well, it doesn't matter, whatever you do, right? You talk about that. And then as she started using these products, these services, she was able to boom, the transformation that this person is looking for. When that happens, people are like more attracted to say, oh, maybe this could work for me. So the more you work on serving others, it's going to make it easier to make money. Make the sell be the byproduct of the service that you're offering to others, how you're helping others for free, no strings attached, no expecting anything in return. Because that's when people start trusting you, valuing you, wanting to follow you, wanting to listen more from you, and then maybe want to buy. So again, I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments. I'll read you afterwards what you think about this. If it makes sense, if you're struggling with this, let me know. I have a free training. Write the word free underneath, and we'll provide a free training with insight and tools to start helping you start getting the business off the ground. Because as I always say, 80% getting a business off the ground is mindset, 20% is skills and information to be able to understand the marketing, the sales, and all that. But if I don't have the right mindset, it's going to be very difficult. 70 to 80% of business owners quit their business in the first 3 years. If those numbers are so high, and the skills and the knowledge on how to build a business, now it's out there. You can ask ChatGPT, Perplexity, Deep Blue. You can ask any AI out there. You can find and consume stuff online on how to build a business. It's not difficult. What is difficult is having the right mindset when things don't go as expected. Like I was talking to a friend of mine that she's trying to be a coach and offering services, and she did a launch, and she told me that she had seen some numbers of how many people sign up, how many people show up, how many people buy, and her experience was totally different. She got the real deal. Those numbers were fake. I don't have those numbers. I don't remember right now. But imagine if, I don't know, 100 people sign up, 150 people signed up to listen to you. Maybe, I don't know, depending on the reminders and many things that you can do in the back end, you might have, I don't know, 50, 60, 70% of people show up depending on the reminders on many things. From there, people that are going to stay all the talk, it could be maybe, depending on your talk again, that it depends a lot, but it could be maybe between 50, 60, more or less, depending on how good you are presenting and, getting people's attention and getting them caught in what you're offering. And then how many people might buy. So again, 100 people, maybe let's say if reminders, more or less, you're sending emails, that doesn't work much, but you don't want to bother them, so you didn't get their phone numbers. You're just sending emails. I think that you might get 30 to 50% people show up. 30 to 50%. So we're talking about between 50 and 30 people that showed up. From those people that showed up, people that are going to stay along all the talk, it depends on how you are presenting and many other things. Okay, imagine that it's 50% of that. So let's be nice, 50 people, 50% is 25 people might stay till the end. From those 25 people, maybe 10, 20%, depending on your experience, your offer, if it's really something that, people are wanting and really connected with you and everything, maybe 10, 20% might buy from you. So 25, 10 to 20%, 10% of 25 is two people. 20%, it's four people. So we need to understand more or less the numbers, and those numbers goes up or down depending on the person. So I was talking to her, telling her that, yeah, it is not easy. It is not easy that, and it is possible. Don't get me wrong, I do it, and I've sold like that, and I keep trying to sell like that too. I'm offering a free seminar about leadership. I have another company, so I'm offering a free seminar about leadership, and within that seminar, towards the end, I'm going to sell the course. That it's a 6-week course on conscious leadership. Yes, so it's in Spanish, and I'm selling that. I'll see the numbers there because I haven't done in Spanish for a while. I've done it in English. So the idea is to see and practice. But my idea is not to sell. My idea is to help people, to help them become more conscious, give them tools so that they want more. And if they want more, they're going to sign up. And I was doing numbers. If I signed 4 people to that, course, for me, that's really good. And so far I have 160 signups, and I have emails and WhatsApp messages are going to be sent 24 hours before the event, 1 hour before the event, and 20 minutes, 15 minutes before the event. People are going to get WhatsApp messages telling them to not forget to jump on Zoom and see us on Zoom. Seriously. Okay. And I expect that maybe, I don't know, half of them or maybe a little bit more might come to this. And I'll see the numbers. I'm going to document it to start documenting a little bit of this. But it's important to understand these things because many people set the wrong expectations, wrong mindset, and it gets shatters when things don't go the way they expect, and then they quit. They don't quit because they don't know what they're doing. And it could be that they don't know what they're doing. But what in my case? In my case, I screw up many times. I even screw up, sometimes even today. But you know what? I keep going. What's the difference between a person that quits when they offer a lecture and they have 3 people and nobody signed up, to the person that had 1, 2, 3 people in the lecture? They learned from it. They made it again. They did it again. They did it again. They did it again over and over again until they were able to start making sales. Mindset. It's not skills. It's not, knowledge, because the truth, that could be practice, that could be acquired. What most people are lacking is mindset. Because when you have a setback, if you don't have the right mindset, you're going to want to quit. You're not going to continue trying. And this is why so many people are stuck in their lives, with their business, with their partners, with whatever in their life. They're stuck with their jobs because they're not in the right mindset. They rather stay safe than going against their belief system and failing again and feeling like crap about themselves. And this is a big one that, again, I want to recommend that you work on your mindset. So stop focusing on trying to sell, try to serve others, help people, give good value to people, and see what happens when you do that. When you give good value, people start saying, hey, this guy, it's amazing that he has great stuff. I want more with this guy, or I want his product, or I want his services. That's how a business grows nowadays. So again, I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.